This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 603 for May 13th, 2019. There goes half of Christmas Town.
Ho ho kaboom!
Everybody gets a lump of coal this year.
Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hello.
And the Nymph.
Hey, how's it going?
I don't think we really have anything to talk about here at the very beginning, so let's get started with Moon. What have you been playing this past week?
Okay, let's start with the crappiest thing of the lot, Forza Street.
Okay, I keep meaning to download this, and then I keep looking at the trailers and going,
So, do you like mobile games?
Yeah, some of them.
Do you like mobile games that you can play on your PC?
Well, now that you mention it, no.
Then I would avoid hitting that download button.
Right.
Forza Street is the mobile game. That's literally all it is. It's a mobile game, I'm not sure what platform it was released on. I bet it's on Windows tablets.
So, here's the crazy thing. It was only released on Windows 10, with mobile devices coming later. It's like, that's backwards?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is part of their expansion into other markets with the Xbox Live thing.
Oh, sure, maybe,
like,
yeah.
Will this be the test bed for it? Like, oh, look, now you can play Forza Street on your iOS device.
Right, and your Switch.
And it comes with the Xbox login and achievements and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This is a mobile game.
Yeah.
It's got energy meters. It's got microtransactions out the wazoo.
Is the energy meter fuel?
It's not
Game fuel.
It's a stupid electricity logo.
Oh.
If it was fuel, it would be great because that's branding and it makes sense. It's just a stupid thing, but guess what? There's like 5 different types of currency. There's upgrade dailies. There's like events to take place in. There's story modes.
Checking all those checkboxes.
I'm not gonna lie, the game looks gorgeous. Like it does look great, but you can afford to make a game look great when it's essentially a glorified video.
Right.
It's literally okay. Let me run over these controls for you. It's click for the menu options.
Okay.
And then on the actual controls wise, you can either click or you can touch. Ooh. Which is great for me with my non-touch monitors. Pressing the button doesn't work,
right?
So I have to use my keyboard or my mouse. It's space to rev.
Okay.
So when I say space, it's space or mouse click. To rev at the start, and you've got to get the rev meter just in this perfect zone. Otherwise, you do too much gas, not enough gas, good gas, perfect gas. Ooh, it's a meter game. And then you hold the space bar. And then when you get to a corner, you let go of the spacebar to brake. And then when you get to the end of the corner, you hold the spacebar again to gas.
Oh, boy.
And then you get to another corner, and you let go of the spacebar. And then you hold the spacebar. And then you, as you're driving and doing quote-unquote well, with your timing-based braking and acceleration, you get boost, which you hit the B button to use.
There you go.
And that's pretty much Forza Street. Like that's the gameplay loop so far is race somebody, beat them, race another person, beat them.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, you totally need to upgrade your cars and build a car collection using cards. And you use the cards to get upgrades and the cards to get cars.
Oh, your pin packs.
Yes, essentially. It's not stupid. It's not terrible. But it is 100%... if I say to you, Forza mobile game, it's exactly what you expect when I say those words.
Right.
It's doing absolutely zero things special. And the storyline is, it's all about this street racing made legal by like 5 billionaires.
Okay. Sure.
So, sure, why not? And it's got the cars you want. It's got your 911s. It's got 911 shout out there for community member with their blue 911. I'm not going to spoil his name. But it's got the 911s. It's got the Nissan GTRs. I've just unlocked a Cadillac, which we all know is the best cars ever. I'm sorry, but who in their right mind buys a Cadillac in a video game?
Who buys like a Cadillac SUV in like a Forza game? It's always like, here's an SUV. You got a couple of cool ones, like a Land Rover and a cool Jeep and a Cadillac. It's like, pardon?
Mm-hmm. I understand the Porsche like SUV looking thing, because that's a hidden beast behind those like special like looks. But who puts a Cadillac in a? I mean, I'm not American. You guys tell me. I know there's the 90s love for caddies being the life of luxury of like cruising around, a bit like Rolls Royce in the UK.
A little bit, yeah.
I wouldn't want to buy a Rolls Royce in a video game about racing.
No, I'd buy a Rolls Royce to be a chauffeur in a video game.
Yeah, it's the same thing like when they put H2 Hummers in, what was it, Need Underground 2? It's like, yeah, great, I'm driving this box in a race.
I'm driving a literal tank.
Oh my word. But yeah, it's Forza Street, you know, it's dumb, it's simple. Right now I'm using it as my wind down game, so it's like, oh, I'm getting ready to go to bed, you know, I'm just going to do these couple of races, spend my energy, do the daily challenges and get my daily goals.
Get my login bonus.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it has all that stuff too. And it has free cars and free timed currency and all that stuff. Of course,
you just have to log in every day for 30 days straight.
Mm-hmm. And it's got special timed events for different cars. It should go away.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to play this the same way I play all my mobile games, which is I'm not going to spend a penny on you.
Yep.
And because I don't like getting ads shoved in my face every 4 seconds.
Right.
Like, I love Marvel Strike Force a lot. I am never putting money into it because you keep advertising. Literally, it's like menu, ad, menu, ad, menu, ad. It's like, okay, you've officially convinced me to not spend any money because you're just advertising all the time.
Yeah, you don't bug me into opening my wallet.
Yeah, exactly. Marvel Puzzle Quest.
Yep.
Was the opposite of that.
Yep.
Where it's like, I am a VIP. I have been a VIP for like a year. I probably put like $200 into the VIP program on that game. And it got that by not advertising it every 2 screens.
Yeah, like pops up when you log in. And it's like, here's some cool new stuff. See you later.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't do that at all throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I will be a VIP for you because you did not harass me into trying to spend money.
Right.
Go away, Strike Force. Go away, Forza Street. I don't care about your quote-unquote best value.
Right. It's only $100, Moon.
That is my biggest pet peeve, is the best value.
Yep.
Which, especially since one of the first times I saw it was on, I think it was a Plants vs. Zombies 2 Quick Look, and the best value one that they advertised as best value was not the best value.
Yeah, like 9 times out of 10, it's like, it's technically the best value, but it's $120.
Mm-hmm.
But you get $150 worth of currency. Whoa.
My favorite one they're doing now is best value and most purchased. It's like the $100 one is the best value one. Wow. But the most purchased one is usually like the $10 one. It's like, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, I can spend $10 on you. That's all right.
No.
Yeah.
Don't. No. Let the whales support.
Oh, I'm not even going to download Forza. I think Forza Street is coming to consoles as well, too. I don't... This whole thing is confusing. Don't download Forza Street.
Let's talk about that, shall we? About the fact that it's coming to consoles. I have a Windows PC.
Yes.
And I have... My Xbox Live account is hooked up to my Windows PC.
Mm-hmm.
I have an Xbox One controller, which I use to play games on my Windows PC.
Mm-hmm.
I switched on my controller and I launched Forza Street. Guess what the controls for Forza Street are?
Keyboard
and mouse. Thank you, Nib.
Great.
The only thing you can do is you can rev with the right trigger. So you're like holding the keyboard with one hand to press the boost button, and then you can rev with the right trigger to let go and accelerate. You can't operate the menus with it. You can't do anything else like that with it. It's like, okay, sure.
Guys, smash that spacebar.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, okay, I'm just not going to bother turning on my controller. You're literally costing me money in wasting batteries on a controller that one button works.
Right.
Amazing.
But if you hold down the D key, do you get to drift?
Unfortunately, you don't. If you know, I miss good drifting games.
Yeah, like a good Ridge Racer.
Yeah, give me even the Need for Speed. I can't remember which one it was, but they had like the drift leagues and stuff like that in it.
Yeah,
like way back when they first did it. You know what? Give me a good Project Gotham.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
I want the
yep
noise.
Oh, it's so good. Get those kudos.
I miss PGR. Yes, I miss PGR so much.
Yeah, me too.
So enough about trash games called Forza Street. It's actually not that bad. It's a mobile game.
Yeah, it's just a mobile game.
And I'm using a 1080 to run a mobile game.
Right.
Like, okay, sure, why not? I played a bunch more Dead by Daylight because I'm back into my Dead by Daylight. I want to take a deep dive. I want to unlock everybody's skills. I want to get those loadouts getting built.
They pulled you back in.
Yeah, and they've also got super grindy achievements, which are all just the right side of doable. Like, where it's like, oh, escape as a survivor 100 times. It's like,
I could do that, yeah.
That's doable, you know?
Yeah,
I can do that. You know, I can level up every character to at least level 10 and then escape with all of their abilities. I can open 100 chests. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah.
My wife has a problem with this game.
Okay.
By that, I don't mean she thinks it's bad. I mean, my wife has a problem with this game, and we need to stage an intervention.
Aha, that sort of problem.
It has like 100 and change achievements, and she pretty much has every single survivor achievement there is to get.
Wow.
That's scary.
That's a lot.
The game is scary. That is scary too.
The true terror.
Yeah. Well, it's a great game. I'm not gonna blame her for playing it because it's really actually very fun. Like, I'm experimenting more with the different survivors and like building custom loadouts for them all based on their different skill sets. And it's like, there's one guy who, if you help somebody off a hook, which is a weird sentence.
Yeah.
If you help somebody off a hook and they get a clean escape, which is the killer doesn't hit them again and put them down, he can remove himself from a hook for free because he can take himself off the hook. There is so many different loadouts and skill bases in this game. Like, you get a feel for a character you like, and then you can go in and like really fine tune it to the way you want to play. And then you can do what my wife does, which is to break the game entirely by leveling up everybody to the point where their skills are available on everybody else's skills.
Oh, wow.
So now, her character that she plays is called Dwight Fairfield. If you've ever seen me post a picture on Twitter of a ginger cat, that ginger cat is called Dwight. I keep forgetting that we called him Dwight after Dwight Fairfield from Dead by Daylight.
Right.
It's not Dwight from The Office, it's Dwight from Dead by Daylight. He's basically a noob-friendly character. So he starts with the ability to see people's auras through walls so you can see where your colleagues are. He basically has like a team captaincy skill which increases the speed everybody does stuff and everybody gets like bonus XP. He's a very good, friendly new guy to play with. My character when I started playing was David. He starts with, his abilities are, he's permanently injured, he cannot be healed, but he moves faster and can take damage and stuff like that so much easier when, like, he can do things faster because he's injured, because that's the way he plays.
Right.
My wife has taken everybody's skills and made this weird Dwight where nobody expects him to start with the ability where he's always injured. And she is now at the point where she's fine-tuning a loadout for Dwight, where she's starting with like one of David's abilities, one of Claudette's abilities, one of somebody else's abilities, and now she's aiming for the horror movie with the guy with the chainsaw hand.
Oh, Evil Dead?
Thank you. He has just come in as a survivor. Ash is now in the game as a survivor. And she's going to level him up to get one of his skills so she can put it on David.
I love that your wife has turned Dead by Daylight into Final Fantasy V. Like, she's doing a mix and match job system at this point.
100%.
Yeah.
And she literally, at this point, I'm pretty sure she's got almost all of the survivor's abilities unlocked. So she just jumps in and is like, well, let's just mess around with this loadout for a while. Like, there is a loadout screen for everybody, and like you can choose the perks you want. When she goes into Dwight's loadout, she's already prestiged the maximum amount of times with this character, by the way.
Oh, wow.
When she goes into his loadout, it's just literally a wall of perks from every single character in the game. And it's just like, okay, that's not scary at all.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, it's cool, but it's weird. Like, it's something I really want to do, but Dead by Daylight can be the best game you've ever played and also the most frustrating game you've ever played. Like, when people don't understand how to read the HUD, my wife deals with this constantly. They don't expect Dwight to be injured, so they see when he's injured, they expect to be able to heal him. You can't heal him. He starts deliberately hurt.
Right. Just leave him alone.
It's impossible to heal him past that. So everybody comes up and uses the Dead by Daylight secret terminology, which is heal me or get healed by crouching up and down really quickly, doing this little jig.
Or like crab walk.
Yeah, and what that means is I need to be healed or stand still, I will heal you, depending on the condition you're in.
Right.
So people will just follow her around rather than go for the generators, doing like this little jumpy up and down crab thing. And it's like, dudes, just look at your thing. It's got right there. She can't be healed. It's in the bottom corner. Just
also,
look.
like, the match started 15 seconds ago. This is how I start. It's fine.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
It's hilarious, and I know it's very frustrating for her, for people who just don't pay attention. And just like, just know what you're looking at.
Right.
But the game is fun, and the killers are fun, and it's great.
Did you see the new killer they just announced?
I did not.
The killer from Scream.
What?
Yeah.
Someone get on the horn and send a message to my wife, please, in regards to this. So they've got ghost faces in the game.
That's what I just saw, yeah.
I wonder if he's going to be referred to as the ghost, because everybody has their stupid names: the shape, the spectre, the spirit, the nightmare,
the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit.
Yes. Everyone has them. I wonder if he's going to be called the Ghost. But that's weird, because they literally just did the Legion DLC, who is basically just a dude with a mask. So,
well, now you have your 10th dude with a mask.
Yes.
But this one's real creepy.
I wonder if they'll do like a proper, like, the velvety cloak thing with him.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Because the Pig Lady is scary. Two killers I hate: Pig Lady, Freddy Krueger. Absolutely hate them.
I mean, if you just say Pig Lady, I'm already like, no thanks. No, I'm good.
It's the lady from the Saw movies.
Oh, okay.
So she wears the big pig mask.
Right.
And she's an amazing killer to play with, but she's very tricky to play as. But those who know how to play as her, they know how to play as her.
Right.
Well, she does this. There's the thing in the game, which is the terror radius, which is the closer you are to a killer, the more intense the music gets, and the more intense this heartbeat gets. One of the reasons Michael is such a horrifying killer is because he doesn't have a terror radius until you're literally standing right next to him. But she has this ability where she can crouch and go stealth and basically remove her terror radius, so you don't know where she is. And then she puts reverse bear traps on your head for fun.
Nope. I'm good. I just remember why I never saw any of the Saw movies.
Yeah. I like the Saw movies in principle. I can't watch them.
Right. You want to put out a Saw book? I can read that.
Yeah, I can read Viscera all day. I can't watch Viscera all day. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight's a great game. Like, pick it up. Just I'm pretty sure at some point it is free/was free for the base edition. You get plenty of survivors with that, including Dwight. Go Team Dwight.
It's coming on the Switch at some point.
I hope it runs okay. I genuinely
when
do.
They showed it at the thing is, when they showed it at the Nintendo Direct thing, it ran okay. It graphically looked really bad.
Honestly, it's not the best looking game on anything.
Sure.
Even on PC, it doesn't look top notch, but for that game, it's not so much the looks, it's the atmosphere that it produces. Like,
right.
I don't know how repeatedly, time after time after time, it can still produce that atmosphere of, oh crap, where is the killer? oh crap.
Right.
I hear the music but I don't see anything. I'm hiding in a cupboard, which now they've patched so you don't see auras anymore when you're hiding in the cupboards.
Oh, boy.
And they just, literally probably this week, they just introduced the new, whatever it's called, the blackout deadline thing, where at the end of the round, you can basically force a closing circle on all of the survivors. They have to escape. So, it's real interesting.
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight is great, so you should go play Dead by Daylight. My final game this week, because it's been a weird week, I played Sea of Thieves.
Oh.
Which just had its, I think it's 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, I think
very recently. So, you remember how we give Ubisoft a bunch of credit about supporting games that they make?
Yes.
Let me tell you about Sea of Thieves.
And it's like 4 million patches over the last 12 months?
Yeah, and now you can fish.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, man, maybe I'll play Sea of Thieves.
Let me tell you, fishing in Sea of Thieves is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a bad fishing game at all. And in fact, it's so good that I have been hooked into playing it.
Get off the show.
By my wife, who is currently obsessed with fishing in Sea of Thieves.
Right.
And you know what? It's chill. It's actually totally chill. To the point where we ran into human players.
Mm-hmm.
And literally my wife got into a 5-minute conversation about fishing with these randos, just talking about where to catch certain things and the spawn rates and
fishing strats.
It was hot pirate fishing strats between a bunch of randos on the internet. Right. And it's just like, okay, sure, why not? Let's just all talk about fishing. But the best thing is that obviously, like any big quote-unquote games as a service game, different fish spawn in different areas and different times of the day.
Right.
So there is like stormfish. So you have to go into a storm which rains so hard it puts water in your ship, so you have to bail the water out of your ship to catch the stormfish.
So basically you have to have a bunch of friends that are okay doing all the work while you're just sitting over there chilling.
Honestly, it was me and my wife on, I think it was a sloop, which is the 2-man, which it scales really well. Like, it doesn't immediately start throwing you underwater. It's like, slowly but surely, the boat will fill. But we ended up parking next to a shipwreck because there's wreckfish, which only show up near shipwrecks.
Uh-huh.
So we're standing on top of the mast of this ship that's like diagonally Titanic in the water. And I'm standing on the mast and she's standing on the back end of it, and we're both just casting our fishing lines out. And then this storm hits us. So now we're catching wreckers and stormers, and we're actually not on the boat, which is filling full of water.
Right.
It's like, we're juggling like 5 things, but you know what? It's just fun. It's just fun to, like, you get your worms, you get your leeches, you get your little grubs, you go fishing. The fishing controls are relatively solid. Like, really good, solid fishing controls. And you get titles and you earn money and rep and everything by doing stupid fishing stuff.
That's all really cool.
Guess what? Sea of Thieves looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like, the game still looks beautiful. The game still looks fantastic. And it's fun to just, like we literally did a lap where we just went around a little bit of the ocean. Fished here, fished there, fished there. Traded all of our gubbins in. Oh, look, a megalodon is attacking us. Let's just deal with this megalodon right now,
I'm going to go fish that.
But then when you kill a megalodon, you get megalodon meat, which you cook and take that in and hand it in for rep. It's... How have they... Good job, Sea of Thieves, number 1. Twitch, number 1, start of the year.
Yeah.
Great job on that. Number 2, somehow continuing to support a game that everybody wrote her off within 2 days.
Yep.
And it's still fun, and it just seems to get more and more fun. The more they put in, the more I play. It's just jumping in, doing a bunch of stuff, and then chilling. Like,
yeah.
It's genuinely a good game now, and if you're a Game Pass subscriber, hit that download button as quick as you can.
You already have it. Because
it's worth the free price that you pay for it.
Right.
This isn't Destiny 2 where you have to pay $100 and $200 and $300 to get to the point where you can keep playing it now.
That's right.
To get to the point where you can fish in it finally.
Yes. Oh god, that would be the death of me. Couldn't even tell you.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing. Nib.
Alright, so I started off by playing Technomancer again.
I bought and downloaded and started that.
Yeah.
It probably has one of my favorite intro scenes of recent memory, because so it's super cheesy because a lot of it is like, we're on Mars, the war over water, and the Technomancers and magic and haves and have-nots. And it's doing this cool thing where it's going from it's scrolling up, and the whole intro cutscene is just scrolling up through the different like strata of this city. And it all looks sort of how everything you've seen before. But then at the very end of it, it scrolls up to your character, and as soon as it stops scrolling, it immediately cuts into the character creator. And there's no like
cool. Black
screen, there's no loading, there's nothing. And I was sort of like, all right, Technomancer, like you're making a pretty cool first impression. Like that's all right.
Is this the game that you mentioned pre-show that you put like 15 seconds into?
I basically did, like, and a lot of that was the character creator isn't super in depth. You can do some interesting stuff with it, but where I lost most of my time was where they want you to start spending points in, like Nib was talking about last week, a bunch of your different skill trees. And then when the game started saying, like, well, if you put a point in here, then you can pass charisma speech checks a little bit more easily. And I was like, oh no, they got me. Technomancer. So, like, controls, the game looks fine. The voice acting is so far pretty good. Controls are, at the beginning, not great. But it immediately does some cool stuff with skill trees and, like, telling me that there's going to be dialogue choices and stuff like that. Like, you put out a game like that, and I perk up.
I'll say, because that. So, go ahead, man.
I was just going to say, so I'm not going to push for it to be a show title because
sure.
I think it was great last year. Can we add an award to our end of year awards, which is the year name Alpha Protocol? So
2019's Alpha Protocol.
2019's Alpha Protocol. And we don't have to restrict it by the year that it came out, so it doesn't have to have come out this year, but we can nominate it as this year's Alpha Protocol. Right. Because everything you're saying and everything Nip said last week about Technomancer is giving me a hardcore Alpha Protocol vibe.
100%. It's like it's very much like Vampire, where it's like, this is a B game and it's really good, and I will tell a lot of people to play it, and people probably won't because it's a B game. But I bought Technomancer for I think like $14 on sale on PS4, so it's like, all right, for $14. Support this developer and check out a game that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, and
interesting.
It doesn't just stop, because there's multiple skill trees. You've got your Technomancer tree, you've got your warrior tree, your guardian tree.
Yeah.
So there's like a ton of stuff. I've pumped everything into my Technomancer tree because I do a lot of the electrical stuff more than I do.
Yeah, it's almost like a mage tree, it looked like.
Yeah. And you get a lot of cool stuff. Like right now I've got basically the Force Lightning. I also have it where now I have this energy bubble that pops up around me, and I have it modified to the point, because once you unlock an ability, you can add another skill point to it, and there's 2 add-ons that you can choose. And once you've chose one, it locks out the other one.
Right.
And so I have it now where it's fully upgraded, where it will do health regeneration while I have it on, and then later on I was able to add an add-on to it where anyone that hits it, it blows them back a couple of steps.
Oh, cool.
So it gets pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you've got, so outside of that, then you have your, I guess, like your skills, your charisma, your stealth, your science, lock picking.
Yeah, I put a point in lock picking because I'm like, all right, there's got to be something cool really early on I can lock pick.
There's a ton of stuff that you can lock pick off the bat.
Yep, and there's lock pick dialogue challenges too.
Yep.
Where it's like, and you'll bypass dialogue checks for lockpicking. I was like, well, now I have to pick it because I don't know what that's going to look like, but I definitely want to see it.
Yeah, I've got my charisma bumped all the way up, so I pretty much 100% those checks. But you'll find that they do a lot of different checks just in the beginning. I think I'm only like 15 hours into it. And in the beginning, you're going to run into almost every check at least once in the dialogue.
Oh, yeah, during like the tutorial stuff.
And I'd gotten to the point where there was a particular mission that I had where I had to talk to this group of people that were kind of revolting, and I could either just walk in there and beat them into submission, or I could talk to them all and do just like a quick check right then and there to convince them to go back to work and do what they need to do. Well, one of them needed a science check because they were complaining that their friend was hurt and nobody would heal them. The other one was a craft check because they were complaining that they had crappy tools, and so they needed those fixed. And I forget off the top of my head what the other one was. And so I went through and I pretty much save scummed it because I didn't want to beat them up.
Right.
I was kind of like, I see why you guys are revolting, and I kind of agree with you. So every time I went to go to talk to somebody, I would save, because you can save anywhere.
Yeah.
So I would save before I talked to them. And it's like, all right, skill check failed. All right, reload. Skill check failed. All right, reload. Skill check success. It's like, all right, cool, let's keep going.
All right, save again. You're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it puts off a really good KOTOR Mass Effect vibe that I'm really enjoying. And I finally got out of the city that you start out in due to story. Stuff just goes sideways, hardcore. And so now I'm in this new city on Mars that I'm checking out, and there's so many side missions. I think most of my time playing this game has just been side missions. And they don't... Sorry, my computer almost looked like it was going to fall over. They don't feel like a hassle. I mean, yeah, you're running around doing a bunch of random stuff. It's, retrieve this, kill that, whatever. But it's all usually within a small enough space. It's like, okay, yeah, I can run over there. And if you've got like 5 of them at once, they're all kind of within the same area.
Nice.
All right, I'll just knock out all this crap, come back and, do it again. So I've really been enjoying it, and it's been taking up a lot of my time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to sort of diving into it, because I was hoping to do that this week, but I'm very excited to check out, because I got the same vibe pretty much immediately starting it, where it feels very much like KOTOR with the dialogue checks and the crafting and skills and all that stuff. Like it felt very much like that. I was like, all right, if I feel like that immediately, I really need to spend some time to check out this game.
Well, and then it also gave me 4 new party members because of things going sideways. They kind of just dump them. I mean, you've met them all throughout the story so far, and you don't know that you're getting them because you interact with a lot of different people. And there was one that actually threw me for a loop just because of his story. He's basically playing a person that he's not. So when he starts talking to you, you're like, wait a minute, what the hell? What? No.
Right.
So that was rather an interesting flip. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing more of that. The next game I jumped into was Absolver. That was another one that was free on PlayStation. It's a martial arts type game that has online.
Yeah. Yep. It's I always get confused between Absolver and Observer.
Right, Observer is not out yet.
Yeah,
they're both on Game Pass right now.
Yeah.
Observer, not the one you're thinking of, Boston, but a real indie game.
Oh, the other one, yeah.
I remember hearing good things about Absolver, but I've not actually played it yet.
So, Absolver, it's got RPG aspects in it. You level up. It's all martial arts, hand fighting. There's not a whole there's some dialogue here and there, but most of the game's just quiet. It's just you fighting.
This game, yeah,
and it looks really nice. It's bright. It's colorful. Gets me out of the everything's doom and gloom.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, your character, basically, you see your character after you make them. Character puts on a mask, and next thing you know, you're thrown into this world. Your character doesn't talk at all. And like I said, very few people do, and the few people you interact with are very far and few in between. So if you see somebody on the screen, it's either an online player who may or may not fight you, or an NPC that will definitely fight you. I haven't had any issues with anybody online. Everyone's been real nice. It seems like if you're not doing any of the online matches, anyone that pops into your world online just kind of leaves you alone, or they help you out, or you can help them out, and everyone just kind of leaves it at that.
Right.
I'm still getting used to it because there's different forms and techniques that you can use, and I've gotten my butt kicked by basically like boss NPCs, where you'll run across them by accident, and all of a sudden you notice they have a gold health bar, and then you're like, oh crap, I am barely doing any damage, and they are kicking my butt. So that's been a fun one. I'm kind of on the fence on it still. I didn't, like I said, it was free, so I was just checking it out. But I mean, it seems fun, and I think I'll keep trying it. It's just getting used to how you're gonna fight and when to defend, and you can do like parries, where if you can, it's kind of like what fighting game, DOA, where if you can see where the attack is coming from, left or right side from them, you flip the right stick in that direction, and you can parry it, and basically just push it off to the side, and that opens them up, and you can attack them.
Oh, cool.
And with some characters, or some NPCs, it's easy to read them, but other ones are like super fast, so you're trying to deflect this right punch that's coming, and next thing you know, they're already on their left punch and a kick, and you're still trying to deflect the right punch, so...
Right.
So yeah, the game gets intense real fast. And then the last game that I played was Minecraft on the 360.
Yes. Yes. Tell me about your blocks. Tell me all about your blocks.
My daughter really wanted me to play with her, so I was like, all right, cool, what do you want to play? And she chose Minecraft. And my wife had seen that they had a Nightmare Before Christmas pack. So she bought that, which that's actually really nice. They went really in depth with some of these packs.
Yeah,
they've got like the Halloween Town theme song. They have that in there, and it plays randomly, but they also have the actual singing as well.
Oh, cool.
Which threw me off for a second.
Some of the stuff they've done is absolutely ridiculous. Like their license packs for that game, I've always found are amazing. Especially the default worlds that you can start with. So like the Halo pack, for example, they've got when you just load up a new world in that, like the default Halo pack world, it's basically all of the multiplayer maps of Halo throughout the years in this big open world that you can just go and explore these maps that you've played previously. And they do stuff like they change the wooden sword to be like the beam sword from Halo and stuff like that. Right. Like that's cool. Really cool how much minutiae of a detail they go into with all of these license packs.
Yeah, they go. So when we started the game, my daughter wanted to change her skin from the default regulars. So she decided to play as the Grim Reaper. And so I chose Oogie Boogie because I figured, well, she's all black. I might as well be all white. Why not?
Right.
And then she had already played it a little bit, so she was leading me into the forest where you have the 4 trees that have the dimensional doors that lead you to the other, holiday towns.
Right.
Right now, it looks like the only one that actually works is the Christmas one because that's the one they go to in the movie.
Right.
But yeah, you walk up to the door, all of a sudden the door just pops up, and then there's just a minecart there. You take the minecart and it buries you down. You go through the ground. They set up this elaborate tunnel system where it kind of looks like you're warping down into Christmas Town. And then next thing you know, you just get dumped out at the end, and you're in Christmas Town.
That's cool.
So we're playing in creative mode, so we just, kind of found a little spot in downtown Christmas Town and started building little houses, and then I figured, well, I'm playing as Oogie Boogie, so put a little spin on it. On top of all of our houses, I put TNT boxes. Okay. Because that's, it's Halloween characters, they're known for that kind of stuff. But they changed those too, so they look like ammo boxes, and they say ammo on the side of them. So I get done putting these, because my daughter and I put our houses right next to each other, went through, put it all over the roof, and my daughter decided that she didn't like it. So,
tell me she punched it.
Yeah, she did.
Please.
She meant to move it. Or, yeah, she meant to pick it up. She punched it instead. And there goes half of Christmas Town.
Amazing.
So I was like, all right. Well, she got mad, went to the other side of Christmas Town, started building her own house. And I'm like, well, this is fine because Oogie Boogie in the movie was underground, so whatever. So I just kept blowing the crater deeper and deeper until I ran across another tunnel by accident, which was leading you from Christmas Town to Halloween Town. So we followed that one back just to see it, and that one was pretty cool. They've got like Jack Skellington skulls all over the place and dug out into the bricks and stuff. And then she got stuck, and then we had to restart. So once we restarted, she started building this other little race thing inside Halloween Town, and I was kind of, just going around looking just to see what they did. And they went like really in depth with some of the modeling that they pre-built, some of the trapdoors and stuff that lead you to random areas. I mean, it was really cool to just kind of walk around and check out the buildings that they pre-made and all that. And then I got the random idea while she was building her little course that she was doing. It's like, well, why don't I just start dumping water on top of the buildings and just have waterfalls on everything? So 3 hours later, my daughter and I have most of Halloween Town basically a cascading waterfall. Which I was actually kind of surprised the 360 was keeping up with it, because it felt like it was chugging a little bit, but then it would run fine after that. But now Halloween Town looks like the Emerald City from Wizard of Oz. Because they changed the water cool. Where it's not blue, it's like this green ooze thing, so everything's green. So that was fun. A lot of time spent in doing nothing really. But
Minecraft is 100% one of those games. Minecraft is like, oh, I'll build for a little bit. Whoops, it's 2 a.m.
Yeah. Well, and then my wife got home, and my daughter was so excited to show her what we did, and my wife's like, well, what did you guys do? And we were showing her, and she's like, that's it? Really? Why? It's like, I had a random idea, and my daughter, she really loved it, so that's what we did.
It's playing Minecraft. Sheesh.
Video game Lego at its finest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's all I played.
I meant to play more Technomancer this week, but Destiny 2 happened. Spoilers for anybody that has not run the 0-hour mission yet. I'm going to talk about it in depth here. This is the only game I have this week, so if you don't want to get spoiled, just scooch on to the next section. As typically happens, a patch came out on Tuesday, and someone posted on the subreddit saying, hey, I picked up this door is unlocked now. What's going on? As it turns out, it is Bungie learning from some of the missteps they took with the Whisper quest. So how that worked was, it was only available during the weekend on this one section of one planet. You had to do one of 2 public events that would spawn, and then you'd be able to run that mission. If you failed it, you have to try for that public event again. What's really great about this is the prerequisite for it is actually a quest that shipped in vanilla Destiny 2 on Titan. It's called Enemy of My Enemy. And at the end of it, you get the choice of killing a Hive Knight or a Taken Captain. If you spare the Captain, this is the dude that helps you out throughout this entire mission. So they're bringing back this guy that's, they introduced like a year and a half ago. And thankfully this time, you can just go do this mission whenever. It unlocks in the first social space, the farm. Just walk up to this dude and start it. Mm-hmm. This mission is incredible. It is... I feel like it's a little bit of like a wink and a nudge to Destiny 1 players, because it actually starts... So you're going through the tower, and you're trying to rescue that Mithrax guy after he's checked something out in the tower. And if you remember the very opening mission of Destiny 2, you're in that like destroyed tower courtyard area, and you're sort of going from place to place, and then you leave the tower. That's where the mission starts, you're sort of going backwards through that first mission called Homecoming, and at the beginning it's very much like, okay, cool, like Destiny 1, we're going backwards through a story mission again, great. But after you get to the part where in Destiny 1 the 3 main people would be, you slide under the store, you go through a shaft, and you're in a totally different, huge, like monstrously gigantic area of the tower. And then at that point, you have 20 minutes to do the whole mission, get all the way to the end, kill the boss, kill all the enemies, and you get Outbreak Perfected, which is the new version of basically like the last big exotic from Destiny 1, Outbreak Prime. This mission is really, really great. It is really long. I think when we beat it the first time, we had a minute 20 on clock, and that was a really good run. When we beat the heroic, I think we had 2 minutes and 27 seconds, and that was a really good run. You're going through all these air ducts, and you're doing all these puzzles, and you're getting chased by this horrible machine Trevor that's chasing you through a maze where you're trying to flip switches. His name is Trevor. It's like T3R-0R, something like that, or like T3V or something like that. It's incredible, and I think they did such a great job taking, because ever since the Whisper mission came out, the community is like, look, we know you can't tell us that you're working on secret missions, but we really love these secret missions. So if in the future you could do more, that would be really great. And there was nothing big in this patch that came out this week. So it wasn't even like the new season hasn't started or anything. So it's just very much like, it's Tuesday, here's a patch that fixes some bugs. And it's such a huge improvement to be able to just run it back to back, because you can keep that momentum going as you're learning these strats and getting through it faster and faster. And I think the thing they did that was really smart, I know some people don't like timed missions, I get it. One thing I think they did really well in this is, unlike the Whisper mission, it's going to be really hard for someone to carry you through it. So you can't just like sit at the beginning and they'll be like, all right, in 5 to 10 minutes, you'll just have your open. You don't have to do anything. And on top of that, there's no catch-up mechanic. Usually in Strikes, when you get to a boss room, it pulls the other party members to you. There's none of that in here. So like, you all have to make it to the end, and you all have to beat the boss together. So it's incredible. It's one of those things that very easily revitalized the Destiny community as we're sort of sunsetting this season, because I think we have about 3 weeks left. It's really great for them to come up with something new at the perfect time, and then give us a reason to run the heroic for the next couple of weeks. And there's probably a whole bunch of puzzles in there that we haven't discovered yet, which is even more exciting. And I think more stuff will unfold as the weeks continue here. So 0 hours is really great. And as much as I have run it this week to try and get the regular one done and then the heroic version done, I am still really looking forward to running it more, because I'll have to run it at least once for the next couple weeks to fully masterwork the weapon. But I'm really excited, and Outbreak Perfected is stupid powerful. Like, it is genuinely incredibly strong, and I was worried. So part of what the thing does is, when you kill an enemy with a precision shot, or you do a bunch of precision hits to something like a boss, a bunch of nanites explode out of it and grab onto someone else. When someone else has nanites on them, you'll do increased damage, like a lot of increased damage to that person. The thing that they kept from Destiny 1, which is genuinely surprising, is that damage grows by the more party members in your party using this weapon.
Okay.
So if you have 6 people in a raid fighting a boss, you're damage just keeps growing and growing and growing because you're all attaching nanites to this boss. So that feels really good to have, and it's not a heavy weapon, it's not a special weapon, it's a kinetic weapon that they usually don't release. I mean, releasing hand cannons like crazy. Stop doing that, Bungie.
Yeah, I've seen the ratio. It's like, isn't it like current like exotics are like 16 hand cannons, 3 rifles, 2 sniper rifles, 1 shotgun, and it's like enough with the hand cannons.
It's crazy. And like they have some stuff that is rumored for next season, like Hawkmoon might come back, which is a great hand cannon. I hope they can unnerf what they sort of did to that in Destiny 1. But it's really great for them to come out with an exotic pulse rifle, which I think we had 1 of before, 2 maybe. I guess the 1 doesn't count. So it's really nice for them to come out with something that isn't a hand cannon and put a really cool mission around it. So do you think that's because they can only balance hand cannons at this point? Like they're like, we know hand cannons, we can balance them. Hand cannons are in a really bad spot. If you're not playing on PC, hand cannons are really bad. They're for a lot of like really inside baseball reasons, but yeah, like it's in a bad spot. So I'm really happy that Bungie came out with another one. It's been about a year since the Whisper mission, so I know a lot of people are saying like, put one in every season. It's a lot of work. Like they made new parts of the destroyed tower. Like this stuff wasn't in the game before, so you know, and I can only imagine the amount of balancing that takes place on a timed mission with 2 other people and a brand new gun and all that stuff. So
yeah,
if they would keep it to once a year, I'd be pretty happy with that. Especially just to see the community come together like, it's a secret, yes! You know, it's not like, here's a new season, here's all the stuff we've already shown you. It's just like, what could be at the end of this maze? What's happening?
Yeah.
So that was really, and unfortunately that's why I didn't play much Technomancer, because I was playing Technomancer and I was like, oh well, you know, while I'm sitting here, I saved my game real quick, let's check the Destiny subreddit. What's happening? So sorry Technomancer. I got a fish in Destiny too.
Yes.
But that's all the games I've been playing, so let's take a break. Let's talk releases for the week of May 13th, 2019. Rage 2 comes out, PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Well, I'm interested, but I'm interested on a Game Pass level of interested.
I'm interested because I feel like if anything is going to get close to like the craziness of Bulletstorm, I feel like Rage 2 probably can. But it's such... even like seeing all these trailers and all these screenshots and stuff, knowing as much as that, it still seems like a wild card.
Yeah, it's a bit like New Dawn. It's like, I don't know if that's going to be good or not, so I'm going to wait.
Well, and they just put out a content roadmap too, and I was sort of like, oh no, are you a games as a service game? Did you hurt my heart?
If you want to get me less interested about your game, give me a content roadmap. Yep. Thank you very much.
Unless it's like
switch off.
Unless it's like, here's all the free DLC we're coming out with for the year, and it's like, okay, cool. And there's paid DLC on there, and they make it very clear. But that to me was sort of like, oh no, ooh, okay.
Hey, guess what? If they release a new Mass Effect game and they give me a content roadmap for that, it's like, here are the 6 DLC packs coming over the next 3 years. That's fine.
Sure.
If they release a Mass Effect multiplayer game and give me a content roadmap, I am out.
Well, it's like Borderlands 3. I'm sure they'll come out with a roadmap at some point. But I feel like they've proven themselves with the season pass for Borderlands 1 and 2. So that seems interesting, if not potentially exciting. So
yeah. I'm assuming you guys have had the
latest.
No, the weird news on this, the fact that people have been buying this game early.
Which game, Rage?
Rage 2 and streaming it on Twitch and promptly getting banned.
I had no idea.
Oh,
That's
okay. I heard someone had brought that up on a podcast that wasn't really paying attention to what game it was. Because
Interesting.
There was a bunch of issues with people complaining about that we legally bought it, so we should be able to play it. But I understand them banning them for streaming it, though. But
or at least like ban them for a week until the game is out. Like this, I think this is hilarious for the game that started as a Walmart Canada leak is now getting legally purchased and then getting people banned. Well, that sucks.
If I remember, and correct me if I don't, I think they had said that people that had this game on their consoles were even getting banned because they got a hold of it before the release date.
That would be real bad. That would be setting a precedent, too, because I don't think that's really happened before as a console-level ban.
Isn't this also Bethesda, who are not going to give away any of their games to press because they don't like the way press talk about their games?
Yep. And that's the same company, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
weird.
While unsurprising,
yes,
kind of expected.
Yeah, it's like I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Next game is Bubsy Paws on Fire. Comes out for PC, the Switch, and PS4.
Move on. Less said about this, the better. Let's just move on.
The only thing I'm going to say, no idea this was coming out.
Nope.
Like, that's going to tell you everything you need to know. Castlevania Anniversary Collection comes out for PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Boy, that's a weird collection of games on there.
What doesn't it have, Boston, if you please?
The other games that are available digitally, like Symphony of Night and Bloodlines.
And I'm out. Thank you very much, Castlevania. See you next time.
I think this is like I'm hoping what they'll do is they'll release 2 or 3 of these collections, and I hope they do that for a lot of their catalog, because this is very much NES, Genesis, Game Boy, Super NES. Like, this is like the 16-bit and lower games. I hope they release a second one.
I agree. Rebrand it. Castlevania, the first 10 years.
Sure.
The first 15 years. The first 20 years.
Sure.
Don't call it the Castlevania collection and not have everything in the collection.
Well, I'm hoping the second one includes Symphony of Night, the PSP game, Dracula X Chronicles, I think. Some of the cooler stuff. I'd love for it to include the PS2 games, the Harmony of Dissonance, that sort of stuff. And then release the Game Boy Advance and DS games on the Switch, please.
Those ones are the ones I'm most interested in. Even just release it on regular consoles. Come on, if Ace Attorney can come out on the Xbox One, then so can the DS Castlevania
Anything
games.
can.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And give me remakes of the 2 Castlevania games, please, because the 2 360 ones, because they are really good.
Yeah, Harmony of Despair, Harmony of Dissonance, whatever the HD one was. That was a good game. I'm not even talking
about that one. I'm talking about like the
3D one.
Lords of Shadow.
Oh, Lords of Shadow? Yeah. Just the first one. You don't have to bother with the second one. No one's going to buy it. No one bought it in the first place. Sniper Elite V2 Remastered comes out on PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. I know nothing about these games.
The sniper games, honestly, they are on the highest difficulty settings. They are sniper simulators where you have to take into account wind speed, distance, bullet drop, and everything like that.
Wow.
On the lower difficulty settings, they are fun watch a bullet ricochet through a ribcage simulators.
It's like Silent Scope.
Yes, exactly like Silent Scope.
That's great.
It's so stupid fun. I could make lewd comments about the things you can shoot in this game, and
I think that's the one thing most people know about Sniper Elite. Yeah. And lastly, Guilty Gear 20th Anniversary Pack comes on the Switch. I had no idea this was coming out. Includes 2 games and a whole bunch of bonuses. First game is Guilty Gear, the very first one that is not really that good. And then Guilty Gear Double X Accent Core Plus R, which is... I got that on first try. I'm very proud of myself.
Me too.
That is basically the very last Double X release. So that's like before Zerd came out. That was like the very last 2 release. It's like whatever Street Fighter 2 Ultra Hyper Championship Turbo Edition. Like it has the most adjectives.
How does Square get so much flack for their naming conventions? And Guilty Gear does not.
I think because Guilty Gear is purposely kind of dumb, So when you put out a game like this, it's like, okay, yeah, of course you just put another letter on the back of the game. All right, cool.
A bit like the Dead Rising 3 DLC.
Right.
Where it's like Super Mega Alpha, Hyper Remix, Ultra Alpha Edition.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, of course you did. All right, that's great. Moving on to news stories. There's a new expansion for Monster Hunter World announced. It's called Iceborne. I thought this was just going to be an event, and it turns out, no, it's a really giant expansion.
Comes expansion.
Yeah. Comes out September 6th for Xbox One and PS4, later in the year for PC. If you have not yet bought Monster Hunter World, it looks like they're going to have a bundle including Iceborne and the original game. Adds a new region that they are saying has the largest map of any Monster Hunter game, which is
oh boy,
gonna be pretty big.
Yep.
And it continues the story after the ending of the main game, which is
okay. That makes sense.
Nice to see. Bunch of new enemies. I pronounced this wrong on Pup yesterday. I'm gonna try it again. Naragacuga returns. Apparently, some famous, probably dragon from one of the previous games.
It's one of the. I believe we refer to them as the Monster Hunter cover stars of the past.
Gotcha. Right.
Like they're the poster boys you put up on the wall
right.
if you're a monster.
But without the Madden curse.
Yes.
Right. G rank quests are back as master rank quests, which I have no idea what that means. What are G rank quests?
It's top tier, god tier kind of thing.
Oh, okay, so like the hardest of the most difficult.
Yes.
Yeah. And all weapon types get new combos and more. There's a lot of stuff in there that they're talking about that I don't understand. So
so Monster Hunter, this is kind of in my wheelhouse.
Yes.
A little bit. Hashtag 2018 Game of the Year Monster Hunter World.
Yes.
The thing that they've done here, which I'm pleased with, is they're releasing an expansion.
Yes.
Because Capcom previously, they Street Fighted the hell out of the Monster Hunter series.
Yep.
Where you would get Monster Hunter, then you get Monster Hunter 3, Monster Hunter 3 year edition, then Monster Hunter 3 beta edition.
Accent Core R.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, the last Monster Hunter game before World I put any real time into was Monster Hunter for the PSP, which was like
the Tri-Ace?
No, it was like something really dumb. It was like Personification Freedom Reunited or whatever. It was
that
stupid
one
name, which was like the 4th edition of that game from different games.
Yeah,
like they used to really Street Fighter this, and I'm glad to see they seem to have learned. Maybe don't re-release it and make everybody restart the thing.
Yep, that was Monster Hunter Freedom Unite.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yep.
Like the fact that they're doing expansions rather than re-releasing new games, I'm absolutely fine with that. Especially considering most save games don't carry over in Monster Hunter games.
Right.
So keep your character, keep all the thing. You don't have to do the 6,000-hour grind to get back to where you used to be.
Yeah.
It's good that they're actually thinking, let's just expand it. And if they want to release a $40 expansion every 2 years, as long as they keep the content good, make Monster Hunter a platform.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You give it to me big and shouty.
Yeah.
Put in more chef mini movies.
Yes. More cats cooking stuff, please.
Yes, Mr. the Meowscular Cat.
Yes.
Yeah. So dumb, I love it.
I lived for those movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next news story, Sony had another State of Play, and not a lot interesting here until the very end. They announced Predator Hunting Grounds, which appears to be an asymmetric multiplayer game, which, sure, if you're going to make a Predator game, that's probably the best way of doing it.
I didn't watch the State of Play, but I guessed something to do with Predator was announced based on Alex Navarro retweeting himself from like 3 years ago.
Yes.
Which he makes the best point ever, which is if you're going to make a Predator game, don't announce a Predator game.
Yep.
Announce a first-person shooter, and then suddenly halfway through the story, stuff gets real.
Yep.
And then there's a Predator chasing you, and then you realize it's a Predator game.
Yeah.
Like,
he had this great idea where he's like, I want people to spend like 10 hours upgrading skill trees and crafting weapons and getting new gear and stuff, and in an instant, none of that matters anymore. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, That'd be
that
pretty
was
good.
Wasn't it, oh god, what was the game? Crap, Rainbow Six out of the Predator just randomly...
Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yes, where it just showed up and everyone was real quiet about it, and then things just started happening. It's like, yeah, that's the best kind of introduction, where it's like, you don't know what's going on, and everyone's just dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Medieval remake is coming October 25th. That is shaping up to look real good.
Is that all platforms, or is that Sony getting their grubby little exclusivity on it again?
Right now, it's just Sony, I believe.
Yeah, I believe it's just PS4, because it didn't come out on anything other than the PS1. So they probably have some like franchise exclusivity or something. They're probably pumping a ton of money into that, based on how it looks.
I thought the same about Crash Team Racing though, and Spyro.
Activision wants money though.
Well, Activision always wants money.
They haven't said anything specifically that I've seen, so maybe later it'll come out to other consoles. But...
Yeah, it might be like a 6-month exclusive or something. Something else did that. The Crash Collection did that. Where it's like, no, it's only on Sony platforms, of course. Until,
Yes.
Yeah. And lastly, Square Enix showed a new trailer for the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which... Boy, that looks really good. They've done a lot of work on especially characters for that, because I think last time we saw a trailer for that, the characters all looked a little off. I think this trailer, they all look really good.
I can't remember who it was on Twitter, but my favorite hot take on this was, it's all well and good showing me Midgar all made up and up pretty and everything again. Show me what like the town at the end of the game is like. Right. I can't remember the name of the town. It begins with a B, like Bethelsdorf.
Yeah, or show me Calm, the first one out of Midgar.
Show me the Golden Saucer.
Yeah. Well,
you gotta remember they're splitting this into 3 games though, which still has me really worried.
It's more than 3, by the way.
Yeah. Is it 4 now?
It's gonna be like.
I won't tell you the real number, but it's more than 4. Well, I think the thing I would be okay with is, to be clear, they're not even showing Midgar, by the way. They're showing literally the first 20 minutes of the game.
Yep.
Which is fine. I mean, that's the part that everybody knows, because everybody's played at least 20 minutes of Final Fantasy VII. I would be okay if this very first thing goes Midgar and then out into Calm and then getting that story dump in Calm and then, that potentially being the end of it. But, I think every time we see it, it looks better. Square has taken over development for this. It was CyberConnect 2 before, and they apparently did something so terrible for Sony to pull it off of them. But they say they're going to show more stuff next month, which happens to be E3. So we'll see what's going on.
I would love for them to show this at the Microsoft stage. I know they're not going to.
It's coming out on Xbox One.
But for them to show it on the Microsoft stage would be hilarious.
They're not going to show it on Sony's stage.
Exactly.
Although Square has their own show this year. It's actually during when Sony used to go. Yeah. So they have their own. Maybe. They have their own thing. But
yeah,
I know a lot of people are saying, like, there have been 2 really funny takes on this trailer. One is people need to stop spoiling Final Fantasy VII. That's hilarious. You guys are funny. That's go play Final Fantasy VII now. It's out on everything, literally everything. The other one is that Square will announce the Episode 1's release date at E3, and I'd love that, but I'm not going to get my hopes up.
We tend to avoid talking about political things a lot in this show because we understand everybody has their own political opinions and they are yours and you're perfectly valid.
Keep an eye on our last news story for this week.
I'm loving people pointing out that this is a game about terrorists against the big corporate overlords who are literally sucking the life from the planet.
It's the least subtle game out there.
And I can't wait for these specific market of people to talk about how great Final Fantasy is and how they don't have to deal with any of that social justice warrior stuff.
You can call them gamer-gators. We can name and shame.
I'm looking forward to that type of person talking about how great this game is, not realizing that it's exactly the thing they hate.
Yep. You are literally being a social justice warrior. Yeah, it's going to be real good, because I think a lot of people don't remember that about 7. I think two things people don't remember at 7. One is the eco-terrorism, and we're not throwing around that term incorrectly. They literally blow up a giant part of the city, in the name of saving the planet.
Yes.
The other thing, too, is how weird Final Fantasy VII is. Like, the dolphin jumping mini-game. Like, there's a lot of really weird stuff in that game.
It had the skipping game in it.
Yeah, the CPR, the cross-dressing section.
Yep. It's a real weird game. Yeah.
Here's my biggest question for you is, how much did they rewrite Barrett?
Based on the trailer, I think they'll do a better job of...
localization?
Yeah. And obviously, the Final Fantasy VII, the urban legend is that it got translated by one person in 2 weeks, and they just did their best. I think more worrying is the voice actor this time. It sounds not great in the very short snippets that he was there. Because they'll keep the same voice actor probably for Cloud and Aerith and Sephiroth that have been voice acting these people for about 10 years. Barrett's one sounds a little bit interesting.
They should have got Coltrane, baby.
That'd be great. Yeah. So I guess we'll see more next month of some. It's probably gonna be the same trailer with like 5 extra seconds on the end where you see Sephiroth's face.
Yeah.
Do E3's next week or next month?
Next month, yes.
Next month.
Yep.
Oh my!
I know people are already complaining on Twitter and stuff that they didn't show Tifa at all, and there's rumors.
What?
There's,
I mean, what a surprise.
There's been rumors that the reason they didn't show her is because they didn't want to show the new way that they may have drawn her up.
Sure.
Which honestly,
AKA more realistic.
Yeah, honestly, if they, I guess, like, draw her up the same way they did with Advent Children, the movie, where
she had such a cool outfit in Advent Children. Yeah.
I mean, I'd be perfectly fine with that. She doesn't have to be this, big buxom woman with a thin waist that can kick butt.
Right.
But
yeah, her in Advent Children was incredible. I think all of the character model transitions over to Advent Children were absolutely perfect for me. Every single one of them was just chef's kiss.
Vincent in that movie was awesome.
What I really want to see in this new engine is Red 13 and Kate Shee, because both of them are going to be so fuzzy. That's going to be great.
Yes. It's going to be the Detective Pikachu trailer all over again.
Exactly. Oh man, if only. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next news story. EA Access moving over to the PS4 in July. The thing Sony said would never happen, but wait, now we like money. So it's going to be moving
just
over.
Like crossplay?
$5 a month, $30 a year. That's literally the only details we know. July and the price. No idea crossplay or crossbuy. No idea of what titles are even coming. But it's going to happen.
Okay.
Yay.
Shocker, Sony realized they could make more money.
Yeah. And it's a good platform that has done really well for them on PC and Xbox. I know, Moon, you've talked about in the past that you really like it. It seems like
it was Game Pass before Game Pass.
Yeah, and it seems like a pretty great value for it if you like, even half of the games that they put out. $5 a month is pretty cheap. So, and lastly here, I don't talk about Destiny 2 news stories in the news because it's too inside baseball. I leave that for the beginning section. But Bungie's making some huge changes to how Destiny's raids work in the next season. So Season of Opulence is going live on June 4th. Bunch of crazy stuff is happening on June 4th. The season starts, the new raid launches that day, 6 hours after the actual season starts, which is usually it's like a week or two afterwards that stuff starts. Even crazier, so for right now, the power level, the maximum power level is 700. The raid will be at 715. What's really crazy is until the first team beats this new raid, it's called Crown of Sorrow, all of the previous raids are locked.
Interesting.
So people can't do what they've done in previous seasons, which is save a whole bunch of keys for old raids, beat the raid really quickly, get to the power level nearly immediately, and then steamroll the brand new raid. So the race for worlds first and the championship belt, which I hope they're still doing again, will really be interesting this time because everybody is going to be at the exact same level as they go in.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's nice to see that Bungie is listening to a lot of criticisms, because if you're like a professional Destiny streamer or you raid once a week, a new raid comes out, you beat it in 2 hours, and then, that's that. But this should be pretty interesting. So.
These raids must have got a lot easier, because it was 6 hours when I did my last Destiny raid.
And most of them, when there's a big content drop, they'll take that much. Like Last Wish took 19 hours for the first one. Famously 24 hours and 2 minutes for my favorite team, math class. But when these additional ones come out, usually the light level only increases by like 50 or 100. So you're pretty close to the being ready to do the raid as it is. So I don't know. We'll see. This will be cool. I still won't be able to run that raid anyways, but I'll definitely be watching some people do world first. Moon mentioned earlier that we don't really talk about politics. We're going to talk about politics this week. A bill has been introduced to ban loot boxes and pay-to-win mechanics. Senator Josh Hawley, a Republican from Missouri, announced plans to introduce the bill, which would mirror the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. I think normally this would be fine, but the quote from Hawley himself is, quote, "When a game is designed for kids, game developers shouldn't be allowed to monetize addiction. And when kids play games designed for adults, they should be walled off from compulsive microtransactions. Game developers who knowingly exploit children should face legal consequences." End quote. Yeah, I can get behind not monetizing addiction to kids, I think.
Or just not monetizing addictions in general.
That would be a great step too. Yeah. They sort of define it here as pay-to-win mechanics that, quote, "manipulate a game's progression system to induce players to spend money, or which alter the competitive balance between players in multiplayer games," end quote.
Okay, so Fortnite's out, Overwatch is out. They can still continue doing what they're doing.
Yep.
Battlefront is in. Most mobile games are done.
Yeah, a lot of those are done. I think you look at something like Division 2, Destiny 2, I think a lot of those are safe because they're cosmetic stuff.
Almost all of them are just cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, but I think when you start selling boosters, you start selling weapons and stuff like that, and you really get, the negative stuff that a lot of mobile games do. I think that's when you start falling to this.
Mm-hmm. So, great.
Sure.
The wording on this is pretty solid. I like the fact that this is coming forward. I'm going to stop my sentences right now because there is a whole bunch of other stuff that I think is way more important than this that need to get dealt with.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it doesn't mean that it'll get voted on anytime soon or go to the floor or anything. It's just him saying, like, hey, this is becoming a real problem. This is the thing that he personally wants to fight for, or him and a bunch of other elected officials, and this is the thing that they're going to work on crafting. Because I get the sense that maybe it's not entirely fully crafted, and I think they wanted to give the ESA a little bit of heads up too, because ESA immediately came back and like, well, wait, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not. Not every country is like Belgium, right, guys? And it's like, that's not the best defense.
No.
Well, at the end of the article, they had talked about that I think it wasn't going to hit the floor any sooner than the end of June because they had to, quote unquote, translate it to legislative language.
Sure. I mean, that's
everyone gets
fair.
to throw their crap in it, so it becomes a bill.
Politics. Yeah. So we'll keep sort of not a close eye on that one, but I feel like if anything happens to that'll be publicized pretty widely, but we'll keep an eye on it in the future. Let's move over to questions. Maximus Prime hits us up from Discord, says, I've been trying to think of a great question to ask you guys, and it hit me. What's one condiment you love, and what's one you hate, and why?
I'll go with the hot takes here.
Okay.
I love mayonnaise, and I hate ketchup.
Interesting. I would not have expected ketchup in the hate category.
It's the most bland and average of condiments.
Okay.
Like, you give me a HP fruity, like a brown sauce, or a HP fruity, and I'm 100% in. Props to my UK folks for my brown sauce.
Yep. Brown sauce for life.
My brown sauce. You give me mayonnaise, I am a fries and mayonnaise kind of guy.
Yeah.
You give me some fries, dip them in mayo, I'm all good. Ketchup's so bland. It's like, okay.
Are you okay with fries and ketchup and mayo that you sort of mix together?
It's okay, but not my preferred.
Sure.
I'm definitely more of a just give me a straight mayo. Of course, it's also because it's full of fat, and fat is delicious.
It is. It's delicious. Nimp, what about you?
I honestly can't think of a condiment that I hate.
Okay.
And I've been thinking about this for a little bit now. Ones that I love are basically any kind of hot sauce. Sriracha is pretty high up there. Tabasco, Frank's Red Hot.
Sriracha's
Get
good.
away from me with your hot stuff. Get away from me with your hot
Sriracha's like the maximum I can do. Even that is sort of like,
But my wife will be the first person to tell you that when it comes to hot stuff, I am a wuss.
Yeah.
And she grew up in America where everything is hot, apparently.
I know, it's not great.
I've got ghost pepper flakes up in my seasoning cabinet right now.
I'm too Irish for that.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I'm too English.
Yeah.
But honestly, off the top of my head, I can't think... I mean, it's not like I'm going to sit here and squirt a bottle of any of this into my mouth directly, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I'd be like, no, never.
I could do it with mayo. I could definitely do it with mayo.
Yeah, I mean...
Not the full bottle, but I could definitely get a good shot of mayo going on.
Yeah. I would probably say mayo, too, for love. It's so good. And my hated is easily number one top of it is malted vinegar. It's just the smell of it turns my stomach.
Okay. Coming from the country of malted vinegar,
yeah,
I can agree with you on this.
Yeah.
Because vinegar is just, yeah. Give me a good salt. Yes.
Yeah.
A nice sea salt, a nice crispy sea salt with big, thick chunks in it.
Yeah. I love salt so much.
You just throw that vinegar on the floor.
Yeah, for me, like any vinegar, even like my wife will clean with it once in a while, and I just like, even if there's like a drop out in the house, I'm like, what's that smell? I smell vinegar, and I'm like, bleep.
Oh, I love vinegar for that.
Yeah.
We just bought like a 4-gallon bottle of like white vinegar for my cleaning.
For like 30 cents.
Recipes.
Yeah.
And it's like, great.
Yep.
White vinegar for cleaning, all good.
Yeah.
Vinegar on food, less these days.
And you know what's crazy? I love pickles. Pickles are great. I don't like vinegar, though.
You're weird.
That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. It's like people that like
pickle juice.
Yeah, it's like people that don't like they love ketchup, they don't like tomatoes. It's like, they're not that different.
Whoa. They are 100% different.
Yeah.
Tomatoes have got literally nothing to do with ketchup anymore.
Well, that's fair. But I don't want to start some food fight here. Oh boy. Mayo's really good. That's the short and long of it is eat more mayo. But I'm not a doctor. Gibinator hits us up on Discord and says, Happy Goku Day. That's May 9th for everyone listening in the audience that isn't obsessed with 30-plus-year-old cartoon. Happy Goku Day.
Wait, why is it May 9th? Goku Day?
God, there was somebody posted some screenshots from the show. Apparently it's his birthday.
Is this the day he crash landed and killed his grandfather?
Probably. Dragon Ball Z? I don't know. It's also Mother's Day.
Come on.
Happy Mother's Day.
Whoa, did you just seriously say Dragon Ball Z? Come on. Fix that now before you ruin your rep.
Are we talking about original Dragon Ball?
Thank you, you fixed it.
Like I've ever seen original Dragon Ball. Come on, who has the time for that? I've only seen Dragon Ball Z once, because it has like 4,000 episodes. I love him falling off Snake Way, though. Yeah. With the announcement that the next Dragon Ball game will be an action RPG by CyberConnect 2, same studio that gave us the Dot Hack franchise and the bombastic Asura's Wrath, and not yet another fighting game, what are some interesting directions you'd like to see Bandai take the Dragon Ball games in? An action RPG is a cool idea.
Asura's Wrath style as well.
Yeah, like make it super cinematic.
It's super. Oh, make it super Dragon Ball, but yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, if they're gonna do it, you got two options. Because I'm fed up of reliving the Dragon Ball story again and again and again and again.
Budokai 1, 2, and 3.
I'm a time traveler with a different take on the same Dragon Ball story.
Right.
If you're gonna do it, go back to OG Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And do the best bits from Dragon Ball all the way through Super.
Yeah.
Because then you start off small, and by the end of it, you're absolutely ridiculous with your Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue power levels. Start small, end big. It would be amazing.
You just gave me the idea that I would really like to see then. I would like them to basically reskin Disgaea as Dragon Ball. Because you've got that escalation, you've got those crazy super big things, you've got stacking up people in combinations. I think that'd be fun.
Dude, the Ginyu squad would fit perfectly into a Disgaea game.
Yes.
They basically would take the place of the Prism Rangers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, the Prism Rangers. Yeah. But I sort of always want everything to be a strategy RPG, so.
Well, yeah,
that's
we've met you
on
before.
brand. Yeah. I can't think of anything else I would want to do. Not a fighting game. I think Gibney is right. Like, just not a fighting game at this point. That'd be okay.
I think that
I wouldn't mind
that Disgaea comment was a really good one. Because now I'm thinking about how you can go Super Saiyan midway through battle.
That'd be so great.
Oh yeah, and you can like have Zenzu beans ready for like they're the items you use to restore everything in battle.
Right.
And you've got the different armor types. Everybody's got 15,000 different costumes that they can all wear as the different equipable armors.
Trunks can apprentice to someone.
I was going to say the counter systems that they have in there, where it's like if you're playing as a monk anyway, you're already countering about 25 times anyway. That's right. So.
I forgot how crazy the counter system got. Oh, man. Yeah, I guess that's our answer. That would be crazy. T-Bar Rock says, piggyback question, with Kill la Kill being released on July 26, seems like anime games are gaining popularity. What is an anime series you would either like to see finally get a game or just a new style of game? Also, what type of game would you like to see? He wants to see a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood adventure game. But that'd be pretty good.
That would be pretty good. I've immediately got an answer to this, and I know it would speak to Nimp as well. Give me third-person like action-adventure game, like based on planets, with some space combat, and give me a good Cowboy Bebop Elite Dangerous hybrid crossover.
Yeah,
that came across my mind too.
Like, imagine listening to the Bebop theme every time you undocked from a station.
Yeah, man.
If they just gave me the skins in Elite Dangerous, I would be happy.
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, man, that Cowboy Bebop PS2 game was not it. That was there's a reason that game didn't come out over here, even though it came out at the height of its popularity. It was real bad. What else we want to see? I feel like the Berserk games got really close. Like a Musou game was a good idea, and the stuff that came on Dreamcast was okay, but like we never really got like a Berserk game that would be really cool, like a third-person action adventure sort of thing.
Like a God of War Berserk game?
Yeah, like we never... The Dreamcast game got close, but it was so hampered by what it was trying to do.
This is going to sound weird, and I don't know about you guys and your intricate knowledge of this series or not, but give me a Bleach game like For Honor. That kind of sword countering combat system, except you can then upgrade your levels so your swords do different things.
That'd be cool. Yeah, and they only have, like
I love Bleach, man.
400 volumes and 700 episodes of the anime to work off of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to see a really good Bleach game, because it feels like out of all of the anime games that everybody loves, like Naruto's got its fair shake, One Piece has got its fair shake, Bebop not so much, Full Metal Alchemist never really got one either.
No.
But all of the huge names of anime, like you say 3 anime that everybody knows, and it's usually Naruto, Bleach, and Dragon Ball. Bleach has never really got that love when it comes to video games.
Yeah, and Evangelion has gotten some games that have been pretty interesting in different ways, where it's like, here's an Evangelion visual novel that takes place in an alternate universe. It's like, well, that's kind of cool. Like, you're really doing something different. But yeah, I don't know.
There is one, and they actually have done visual novels for the Vita, and they've released them for the PS4, and they're coming out with the prequel for it now, and I'm going to wreck this name because it's long, but I believe it's pronounced Utaro Rumono.
Oh, I like Utaware Ramono or something like that. Yeah, I forgot they turned it into an anime, or the games are based on the anime. Like, I don't remember which is the chicken, which is the egg.
So the games are basically the anime.
Okay.
And the cool thing about it that I really liked was they had a first season that came out in like the late 90s, early 2000s, which no one really heard of. And then the second one came out, the second season, quote unquote, came out, but then it just stopped there and it left like a ton of story just hanging. So they released 2 of the games, which was the second season and the third season that never came out anywhere. So you get that closure, and later on this year they're releasing the first season that no one really heard about. So, and it's all visual novels, but they break it up where you've got about like 30 minutes of visual novel reading, and then you go right into like a tactical RPG setup where you're doing battles and stuff, and then it goes right back into, where you can make choices and stuff like that through the visual novels.
Yeah, I bought Mask of Truth because I had a hard time figuring out which one was the first one, which one was the second one, and I think that was the first one.
Yeah, Mask of Truth is the first one, and False Mask,
okay,
I believe.
Yeah,
Mask of Foes or something like that is the second one, which is the continuation of the story.
I've always wanted to play those because it's a visual novel plus a light visual novel plus light strategy RPG, and it's like, wow, okay, well, chocolate and peanut butter, I'll smush those 2 together. It's a game made for me.
The story is really good. I mean, it is kind of a what do they call it? A harem.
Yeah,
where the guy is, is surrounded by beautiful women and all that stuff. But I mean, the story there is quite a plot twist halfway through that. That's will open your eyes on a couple of things.
Interesting. I'm trying to think of any other big anime I'd like to see, but I haven't watched anime in so long that I feel like I would feel like, how do you do, fellow kids, about anything?
The fact that you referenced Evangelion tells you exactly how long it's been since you watched anime.
It's coming to Netflix pretty soon with a brand new dub.
A lot of them now tend to be these animes. Not all of them, but there are a lot of them now where it's like, a person gets brought into this video-esque type fantasy world thing now. So they're all pretty much already games to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't seen it, but similar to Summer Wars, I believe that is.
Oh, Summer Wars is so good. Yeah.
I really need to watch that movie, apparently.
It's really good.
Yeah.
T-Bomb Rock says, the final question here for the week. Silicon Knights tried to get the rights back before the studio closed to Eternal Darkness. Do you ever see Nintendo either remaking the game or doing a sequel? Also, who would you like to see develop it?
I have not played Eternal Darkness, so I do not know what that is. Is this the volume?
Yeah, like the deleting your save game, horror game. I don't think they will ever bring that out to anything ever again. I think the amount of work that you would have to do to put that on the Switch, you have to redo so many of those elements, because you have to, instead of that green volume bar that was at the bottom of every TV that was hooked, had a GameCube hooked to it, you would have to emulate something that looks like the phone or looks like the Switch volume, or deleting a save game on the Switch. The amount of work that would have to go into it for so many different variables is pretty crazy. I don't even know if someone would remake it, if it would really work.
If they re-release it as is, does it even work as a nostalgia piece anymore?
Probably.
Maybe. That game was pretty rough even when it came out. I mean, it was fun.
Yeah. It didn't,
pretty rough.
It didn't play very well. The whole thing about it was you're trying to keep your sanity down, and as your sanity raises, the game starts messing with you more and more. You go to save, and it deletes your save, and then it just tells you it's kidding, and the on-screen bugs are crawling across the screen. They look very real. But
God, that cockroach one.
Yeah, cockroach one got me. That was horrible. But beyond that, it was It was a pretty okay game, but it wasn't anything. It was trying to compete with stuff like Resident Evil, and it didn't play or function nearly as well. I don't even know who I would want to see. Probably the only developer I could think to remake the game nowadays was the Amnesia guys.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. As a shot in the dark, give it to Kojima. Let's see what he can do with it.
Yeah, see what he would come up with.
I mean, honestly, a lot of that game screwing with you was a lot of stuff of what Kojima was doing in MGS1.
And PT.
And PT. So, I mean...
Yeah, that's true. It might not be too far off the mark. Yeah,
only Kojima would actually have the game delete your save if your sanity meter was too low.
That's true. You're done. You're not good enough. See you later.
This is the same guy who literally said he wanted a disc that would destroy itself if you died.
Yep. He also wanted the Snatcher disc to smell like blood as it heated up. He's crazy, man. But yeah, I don't. Putting this game out today, I think someone could do it, but I think you would have to redo so much of that game. You might as well just make another one. You'd have to make another psychological horror game.
Their best bet would probably be just to release it PC only, because then it would give them more options to kind of, I guess, screw with your PC a little bit.
That's true, yeah.
Because consoles, I mean, even talking with the TVs, there's no real good way for them to screw with your TV.
No, you'd have to turn that into, popping up fake trophies or fake achievements and stuff like that, where it's the killer's behind you, stuff like that.
But you would think there would probably be, hopefully, a non-system breaking way of having your monitor flicking,
exactly,
on you or something like that. So I think they may have more freedom with going the route of PC instead of console.
Yeah. All right, that's all of our questions this week. Thank you so much, everyone, for sending them in. You can visit us at tvgp.tv, everywhere to find and follow us on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers. Don't forget the $5 a month tier is where you want to be. That gets you all the cool behind-the-scenes stuff, all the early access, the show notes, all the good stuff. $5 a month.
How many early access shows is it? Is it 4, 5? 3
or 4. Yeah, it's quite a few. Some of you'll get a couple months early, some of you get a couple weeks early. But they're especially early for you, and there's an exclusive show on there, Outcast, which is the stuff we talk about before we go live to Twitch and YouTube. So go patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers. Florence is still the Game Club game. I think we record that in a week or so.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Ish.
Hold on. 2 weeks, 1 week, something like that.
Soon enough
when did you record Pup?
Well, we recorded it a week late this month. That's why I'm all off.
Okay, so it's next week.
Yeah. So soon enough that we should be starting it soon. So go play that. It's out on iOS and Android. I have not yet started it because I was waiting for this. And I think that's it. So we'll see you all next week.
Ta-ta!
See ya!
Yeah, it's this week.
Okay. All right. We'll go with you, Nimp, for titles first.
All right. I have Your Best Value Isn't. My Wife Has a Problem. A Wall of Perks. It's Cool, but It's Weird. Get Off the Show. Diagonally Titanic. Megalodon Meat. And a horrible machine named Trevor.
All right, what about you, Moon?
Menu ad. Best value, quotation marks around. Get those kudos. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. There goes half of Christmas Town. Grubby little exclusivity. And So Fuzzy.
I have... Boy, we all have so many different titles this week. I have... Do you like mobile games? Space to Rev, which I just like how that sounds. It's not stupid. It's not terrible. Hot Pirate Fishing Strats.
That's a pretty good one.
Wreckfish. Alternately, Wreckers and Stormers, which is what I really like. Tell Me About Your Blocks. There Goes Half of Christmas Town, and So Fuzzy. I like Wreckers and Stormers, and There Goes Half of Christmas Town. I feel like Christmas Town is a really solid one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm down with whatever.
I think I'm a circle There Goes Half of Christmas Town. It's longer than we usually have, but I feel like it's too good to pass up. All right, circle that one. All right. Let me know when you gents are ready.
I'm not, but sure.
I'm good.
I got nothing for this.
Okay. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 603 from May 13th, 2019. There Goes Half of Christmas Town.
Ho ho kaboom!
Everybody gets a lump of coal this year.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for watching and hanging out with us and chatting in chat. We always appreciate it, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
And we can stop recording.